Grace, mercy, and peace be to God our Father and our Savior Jesus Christ. For 35 chapters, God doesn't say a word. For 35 chapters, God is silent. For 35 chapters, Job cries out. For 35 chapters, his friends had nothing but pain, his life, and their accusations. God says nothing. Then, in chapter 38, God speaks. And if you've ever read those chapters of Scripture from Job 38 through 41, God puts all things, especially Job, in their place. He reminds him and all of us who is in charge. He speaks out of the storm. He speaks to all of us. We're going through the storms of life. That person going through treatment of cancer. He speaks. That person dealing with the loss of a loved one. He speaks. That person going through the brokenness of a marriage lost. He speaks. Those parents or grandparents who cannot believe that their child is gone. To anyone who is trying to see God through shattered glass, he speaks. As in Job 38:1 says, then the Lord Yahweh answered Job out of the storm. Out of the storm, God speaks. He does it that his word might be heard. He's getting the attention of Job. As for the first time since chapters 1 and 2, the name of the Lord is used. Yahweh. Lord God. From chapters 3 through chapter 37, people called him God, the Almighty, but his name, the Lord, was not used. Why is that? It's here now. That Lord. Yahweh in the Hebrew, that means I am who I am, is speaking. And God became flesh in one of us. Jesus said, I am the bread of life. I am the good shepherd. I am the resurrection and life. Here for 35 chapters, Job is consumed with all kinds of questions. Where is God? Why is this happening? When will all this end? How can God do this to me? The most important question is not when, why, or what, or how. It's who. Who is the God behind it all? Our Yahweh God. The great I am. It's that who of who God is that the question is answered in Job 38 through 41. Instead of God giving an explanation to all of Job's complaints, all of his questions, he gives him a revelation. He gives him words. God says, who is this that darkens my counsel with words without knowledge? Brace yourself like a man. I will question you and you will answer me. Job keeps quiet. Where were you when I laid the foundations of the earth? God says. Surely you understand. Where were you when I set the dimensions of the universe? Laid the cornerstone for it all. The morning stars sang together and all the angels shouted for joy. Here the tables are turned in this chapter. Job has been questioning God, and now God questions Job. Fine questions pour down like rain. It starts here in chapter 38 and continues on through chapter 41, and there's a list of 70 questions that God asks Job. What of all this? Job needs to let God be God. He is God, and we are not. And to underscore that point, God repeatedly points out how He created all things. He's in control of all things. Down in this marvelous earth, this amazing universe, know that's God we worship. Created all that. He's reminding Job of that. This amazing universe where the diameter of the sun is 100 times larger than the earth. The volume of that could contain 1 million Earths. Distance. This God created the Milky Way, which is just one we know of many galaxies. It alone measures 104,000 light years across. It contains, they believe, 100 billion stars. According to the information from the Hubble Space Telescope, there are hundreds and billions of galaxies in the universe. And here it is, the Lord saying to Job, can you see it? Can you rejoice in it as I do? The morning stars sing for joy because of who I am and what I do. Can you rejoice in it too? Do you see how carefully I put it all together? Can you grasp the immensity of what I have created? Can you be my equal? Match my power, my ability to watch over and care for all of this? What do you say, Job? You know what Job answers? I am unworthy. He says, how can I reply to you? I put my hand over my mouth. I spoke once, but I have no answer. Twice, and I will say no more. He realizes. Job replied to the Lord, I know that you can do all things. No plan of yours can be thwarted. Job gets it, finally. Here it was, the water boy was telling LeBron James how to dribble. The bat boy was telling Babe Ruth how to hit. The caddy was telling Tiger Woods how to use a 9-iron. The clay was telling the potter what to do. Job gets it. He surrenders. That's all he can do in that moment. He stops pressing for an explanation from God. Instead, just listens to His revelation, His word. That's all we can do too in the times in the storms of life. This morning I went to the hospital as I texted and found out about one of our members who's not doing well. Went to the hospital. She's such a dear lady that I dearly love. Had many conversations. She's been going through a very difficult time for many years with cancer. We're hoping and praying. The Lord might give her more years on this earth to spend with her granddaughter. Here this morning, the doctor came in and gave her news that it's not meant to be. I found myself as pastor, even though I know, Lord, I don't understand. What a sweet lady. She serves you. She's been so faithful in church. She loves coming here. She loves serving you. Why not a few more years? That's not my decision. I think our decisions, it's our Lord, His plan. And we know that He can work a miracle in her if He so chooses, but sometimes it's just time. We just have to let God. God who speaks out of the storm. But also that God who came and took on flesh. Came with us. He did it so that you could know just how much He loves you. Just how much He cares for you. Just how valuable you are to Him. You come down and experience our pain, our suffering. What kind of a God would do that? Our God did. For you and me. So He paid for our sins. So we can be forgiven and have an eternity where there is no more pain, there is no more suffering, there is no more death. It's all gone. Because that God took on flesh and He died on the cross, but then He rose from the dead. That's the hope of the victory. Should I live in it each day? That means that we have a God who's not distant, who's not far off, who's not disconnected. We have a God who's for us. Even though we can't always see it on earth. He speaks out of the storm. He became one of us. So when we're broken, we can know He was broken too. When we hurt, we can know He was hurt too. When we cry, we know He cried too. He understands. That's the God we look to. Times we're going through those Job kind of times. Knowing that one day, in the light of our glory, we'll look back on the story that He has written for our lives and the lives of all His people, and we will declare He has done all things well. That's where He is going to bring. In the end, to understand. See, when you follow Job, Job's attitude goes in so many different directions. His Job begins with a mixture of kind of self-pity, self-assertion. His life was devastated from one calamity after another, and Job sank into grief. His wife tells him, "Oh, curse God and die," but he insists then on his own, defending his own innocence. By contrast, then, attitude recommended by Job's friend was one of self-accusation. Come on, Job. You know you must have done something wrong that God is punishing you for. That this is why this is happening to you. Just repent to Him and everything will be all right. Job refused to be bullied, signing such a false confession. He knew that he wasn't without sin. He also didn't know exactly what he had done wrong to deserve all of this. Then the fourth friend, Elihu, appears on the scene, here just upon Job to adopt another kind of attitude, the attitude of self-discipline. He pleads with Job to see that there is a purpose in pain, not retribution but instruction. To recognize in some measure this is God's way of correcting him. See, in the end, as God finally speaks, the only attitude left open to Job was just one: surrender. Falling before God, reverence, awe, glory. That's all we can do too. Now we can get angry. Now we can accuse, plead our case. Will get us nowhere. But to just stop and surrender. To stop insisting upon an explanation and just trust in the revelation. Then we surrender like Job. And what does that look like? Jesus gives us the words. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. We might think those words are too simple. We might think, well, I have to surrender with the right kinds of words, with the right kinds of actions. Then God will surely intercede for me. However, God doesn't need the right words. He doesn't need the right actions. He just simply says, trust. Trust in me. Trust in my will. pray for my will. The creator of the universe. The one who gave me all this. It was my will to give you all this. It was also my will to die for you, sacrifice for you, to give you every grace that you could be with me forever. It's that word of action of God that will always be the one that he wants to be his last word, his final word for us. For all our questions, all our complaints, it's that word that says, you are not a number. I became the last so that you could become the first. It's the one who laid the foundations of the earth. May the peace of Christ transcend understanding of your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus our Lord.